Welcome back to another episode of the Higher Level Podcast. So tonight we're going to be looking at this weekend's fights and the upcoming card at UFC 250 and giving you some predictions. So tonight we have on the show Higher Level head coach James Doolan, and also joining us we have Danny Henry coming on again. So cheers for doing this, lads. Obviously we'll start going through these fights. So this weekend, obviously, we've got Gilbert Burns, Tyron Woodley coming up. First impressions, actually, on the card. I'm sure you have both had a wee look at it. What do you think?
It's not great, to be fair. But sometimes these cards deliver. Sometimes you get guys who break out on cards like this. But I've only had a quick look at it. It's not the most promising other than the main event, I think.
So kind of feel, obviously you've got the Woodley Burns fight, which is a good fight. Do you think it's kind of, they've just put the card together as quickly as possible to get something out there for the fans?
This is kind of what they were doing before the lockdown. They would have these like fight night cards, and it was like one really solid fight and then a lot of just filler. So it's like that. But again, we went through that spell there with no fights, so it was fun to watch.
Well, what we'll do is we'll jump straight into predictions for this. Obviously, I'll get the predictions from both of you guys. And if you've got any thoughts on the fight at all, fire them in. But I think with this card, we might be done pretty quickly on this one. So we'll start with the main cards. We've got Hannah Seifers and Mackenzie Dern. They'll be kicking off the main card. Danny, I'll come to you first. What do you think, mate?
I think Mackenzie Dern will miss weight. And then the other bird will batter her.
That's good enough. And James, for you?
Dern will make weight and then she'll win convincingly. I think they've gave Dern a decent opponent here coming off. I think her last fight was a loss to Amanda Ribas. I think this girl suits her. I think Dern's better than her everywhere.
Now, I'm probably going to get done for being a bit sexist here, but Mackenzie Dern, does she have difficulty making weight because of that arse? Nobody jump in on that.
No
just leaving me hanging out there.
How dare you?
Oh, here we go.
How dare you? That's somebody's daughter. I
know. Somebody's girlfriend as well, but there you go. But listen, you put the pictures on Instagram, people are going to comment. That's what I say.
Our dad's called Megaton. Do you know that?
No, I know I'm regretting saying what I said, so I'm a shitebag, so I apologise.
Somebody turns up at your gi, at your house in a gi and throws you and crushes your face with side control, you know it's hard that.
To be fair, if somebody turns up my gi and shorts, they're probably going to get robbed at knife point, let's be honest. Next on the card, we've got Roosevelt Roberts and Brock Weaver. James, I'll come straight to you in this one. Let you jump in first.
I'll pick Roberts. I think I didn't really like that Weaver guys. You see the stuff with the dog fighting. There's some accusations about that he put up some dog fighting stuff on his social media. So I hope he gets his face to play with. And that's my only reason for picking against him.
Which is good a reason as any. Danny, for you?
I'll go with the dog fighter. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. So
there we go. And next up we've got, like I say, we're going to go through this one quick. We've got Gabriel Green and Daniel Rodriguez. James, I'll come back to you.
I don't know those guys, to be fair. So I'll go with Gabriel Green just because he's second name.
I think, is that mad ginger guy?
Let me look.
Is it featherweight?
No, they're see, it's weird because this is I was looking at the two guys. So Gabriel Green, they've got his weight down as 155, but they've got Rodriguez down as 170.
I think it's a
catch weight.
Green is a late replacement. The other guy, Rodriguez, was meant to fight a guy who fought last week, a welterweight. I can't mind his name. So it's obviously a lightweight. Green must be fighting up a weight class, I think, short notice. So yeah. I'll keep my mind actually and go with the other guy. the natural welterweight.
Oh, no. You can't do that, James. That's against the rules of the show. You've locked your pick in.
I'll stick with Green then.
I'm only kidding, obviously. Danny, what you got?
I'll go with the natural welterweight. Seems like the way to go on that one. I don't know either.
Yeah, to be fair, I've tried to look at a couple of their fights, but I didn't have much time earlier. And next up, this is going to be me butchering this name. I've done it before. We've got Blagoy Ivanov, and he's against Augusto Saki.
I've seen that Ivanov before. I think he's all right. Heavyweight.
Aye. He's obviously not a physical specimen or that, but I think he's actually, he's Bulgarian, I'm sure. Aye, he is Bulgarian.
I think I've seen him before. I think he's all right. I'll go with him because I've seen him.
Ivanov, James, what about you?
I pick Ivanov as well. I think he's been at AKA, so he's good gym, good training partners, especially with heavyweights with DC and the guys there. So I'll go with Ivanov.
Perfect. And that sort of brings us, I think that kind of sums up the card. That's the co-main event. Not to take anything away for the guys that are fighting in the card, but that's just kind of where the depth of the card is. And obviously main event is Tyron Woodley, Gilbert Burns. What do you think then? I'll let you jump in this one first, James.
I think that's a good fight, man. It's a really good fight. It'll be interesting to see what Woodley turns up. I'm a big Gilbert Burns fan. I watched him quite a bit at lightweight. I think him and Stevie were respectfully talking at each other on Twitter, maybe at one point talking about fighting each other, and both of them couldn't get fights. And I watched them. I knew him for grappling and stuff, but it's a big ask. Tyron Woodley's no far removed to being the champion and stuff, and he was pretty dominant as champion for a while until he met Usman. But I like it's just the style of Woodley. I think it's going to cause problems for Gilbert Burns. I'd love Gilbert Burns to win, but I think Woodley will probably take it. I think if Woodley's at a point in his career now where if he performs bad on Saturday night, he's fucked. I think he'll be done. He'll never fight any of the top contenders or whatever again. So I'll go Woodley.
And you said something there. It depends what Woodley turns up. Just to pick into that a wee bit, are you talking about like Tyron Woodley just before he got the belt, or Tyron Woodley when he had the belt? And do you think Tyron Woodley was a scarier prospect before he got the belt?
100%. He was an animal on the way up. His rise to the belt, and this is quite a common thing. He destroyed everybody on his way to the belt, and then I think what happened was probably the Wonder Boy fights, and it changed him. But then he looked phenomenal against Till, and then the Usman fight, I think, is a hard one to come back for. That's what I mean. What version of him turns up is how he's going to respond to the beating that Usman's got on, because Usman absolutely smashed him. So it'll be interesting to see.
Perfect. Just to let you know, we've got Stevie Ray joining us now. He's popped in. Oh, just make sure he's definitely driving. Yeah, wait, and then we'll get him unmute. Right, so Danny, we're just getting Stevie in, and we're just getting him to unmute so we can hear him all right.
Hear me?
Aye, we can hear you, Stevie. So you're a wee touch late, but we'll give you a minute. We're going to jump onto UFC 250. So just quickly on the main event, Danny. We'll come to you in a second, Stevie. Who do you fancy in that one? Gilbert Burns, Tyron Woodley?
I fancy Burns, to be honest with you. I think Woodley's on his way out the sport. I don't think he's as motivated as he once was. When he fought Usman, he looked like he didn't want to be there. I feel like the UFC's like maybe a secondary income to him now. He's doing so much out with the UFC, so I think he's on his way out the sport. And you always know what you're getting with Burns. He's going to turn up and he's going to fight. So I'm backing Burns for that one.
Perfect. Stevie, we'll come to you. This is just the last fight on this weekend's card. We're going to go to UFC 250, but we're talking about Tyron Woodley's going to fight, obviously, Gilbert Burns. Who would you favour in that fight, Woodley or Burns?
I think probably similar to what Danny said. I think back a few years ago, maybe I would have chose Woodley, but Burns has been shown that his striking's been looking good. He's at the same camp as Johnson, working with, I can't remember what the coach is called, but his striking's looking good, and he's obviously got really world level jiu-jitsu as well. So, and I think just the same as what Danny said, he's probably hungrier. He seems more up for it, and Tyrone's maybe not needing it as much.
Yep. He probably matches Tyrone athletically as well. He's pretty explosive.
He's a pretty big guy.
Positive Tyrone.
The other thing I forgot to mention there was Stevie mentioned this. Burns is at the same camp as Usman. They're both at that Sanford MMA with Henry Hooft. So he can basically go to Usman and say, what should I do against this guy? To pretty much replicate what you've done against him. And he can be quite similar. I think Gilbert Burns, his striking's good, his grappling's good, he's not quite as physical as Usman, but he's for the same camp as the last guy that beat Tyrone Woodley, which could be a factor.
He's on a pretty decent run now, I think, as well.
Some impressive performances.
He always turns up, man.
But he's got that threat to the ground as well. He's phenomenal on the ground, and he's been looking really good in the feet. You can tell he's been at that camp working with Henry Hooft and stuff like that.
Did he just last beat Damian Maia? Is that right? Is that his last fight? So he'll be confident after putting somebody like Maia away. Caught him with the left hook and then finished him with ground and pound. So his confidence will probably be through the roof now as well.
Yeah. So that obviously concludes this weekend's UFC Fight Night card. So we've got obviously UFC 250 the week after. Definitely looks like a much better card. Not quite sure how it's going to work in terms of prelims and main event. So what we'll do is I'm going through the card. There's just quite a few fights that stand out. So what we'll do is we'll get your thoughts on them. Right, so let's have a look. So we're getting a wee bit of back. Right, that's better. Right, so the first fight I seen was Alex Caceres and Chase Hooper. James, who do you think?
I'll go Chase Hooper.
Chase Hooper, perfect. Danny, what about
you? Chase Hooper for me as well. I think he's a much better grappler. I think I like grappling.
Perfect. And Stevie, for you, who do you fancy, Chase Hooper or Alex Caceres?
Probably Chase Hooper. Alex, whatever his second name, I can't even say it, but he's been around a wee while and he's just quite sloppy, I feel, like erratic. I'll go with Hooper on that.
Perfect. And James, I'll come back to you on, we've got Sean O'Malley. He's getting back in there, obviously looked fantastic in his last fight, and he's in there against a veteran, Eddie Wineland. What do you think on that fight? Is Sean going to have too much for Eddie at this point in his career?
I think they're following a natural kind of path that they really get these young kind of hyper prospects and give them a guy who was a big name back in the day, especially in the WEC, but he's not been anywhere near that level for a long time. So O'Malley should go through him, I think. So maybe beat him in points, but he'll school him.
Perfect. And Danny, what do you think on that fight?
Same boat. The last couple of times I've seen Wineland, he's not looked great. On his way to the storm, so I think O'Malley's on his way up. He's got a higher ceiling. He'll take that fight comfortably. I can't hear you, James.
Evie, who have you got? O'Malley or Eddie?
Is that probably that? Is it Sean O'Malley?
Yeah.
He the guy that just got banned for weed or something? To be honest, I don't really care too much. I'm sure that is that Eddie Wineland. He's got no bad boxing, pretty decent power puncher, you know. I'll go with that Sean O'Malley. He seems to have a lot more hype about him. Again, I don't care too much about them. Am I noisy, by the way? Because I noticed I keep getting muted.
I am. Because when we're talking and you're on, Stevie, we're getting. But we can hear our own voices. So I'm just muting you. You'll be able to hear us. And then we've got to talk. I'll unmute you.
Maybe because you're through.
Aye, it might be. I think. Right. So sorry about that. There, I'm getting a lot of feedback off. Obviously, Stevie's going through the speakers in the car. But we'll plod on. So next fight is Aljamain Sterling. He's getting in there, and I think this fight against Corey Sandhagen's potentially with everything that's happened in the bantamweight division, and there's title implications on it. So, James, how do you see the fight going?
That's a great fight, man. I think that might be one of the better fights in the card, to be honest. I hope Sterling wins. I'd like to see him win and get a crack at the title. I think everyone's open now with Cejudo away. It's a hard ask for him as well, but it should be Aljamain Sterling's to win. He's looked impressive recently, so I pick him to win, but I don't think it'll be an easy fight. He's going to have to grind it out, I think maybe being the 3 rounds suits him better as well, not 5. But it's a good fight, but he definitely can't sleep on the other guy, or he'll make it a lot harder for himself than it needs to be.
Yeah, and so Sterling, then you're going for James, are you?
Yeah.
And Danny, so obviously we've got another fight going on. I think it's Peter Yan is going to be fighting Marais. Do you think the winner of this one then will fight the winner of that fight for the belt?
Yeah. It has to be really, like, there's not really anybody else in contention that you can think of. So, pretty much is like a 4-man tournament, really. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking as well. And Danny, what's your thoughts on that fight?
I'm Sterling as well, to be honest. That Corey Sandhagen's quite a young guy, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's pretty young. I think Sterling's time served. He won't let the hype of the event get to him. I think Corey might have a chance of being a title holder down the line, but I think it's going to be Sterling's tonight.
Yeah, and Corey's coming for, just correct me if I'm wrong here, he's coming for, is it Edmund Tarvarian's camp? Am I wrong there?
I'm not sure, man. I hope not.
I know they had a real prospect. I thought it was him. I could be wrong though, but
you're thinking of the heavier guy. What's his name? We've spoken about him before. I think he's a welterweight.
I actually knew that you say that. I think I am. And I'll come over to you, Stevie. Who do you feel in that fight? Who do you fancy?
Probably. I don't know the other guy. I've done a bit of training with Aljamain Sterling before. He's fucking really strong for the weight. Is he a bantamweight? 135.
Yeah. Right.
Aye. Go with him. Again, I've not seen him fight too much either of them. But fuck him. He's the only guy that I've really seen fight. So go with him.
What do you mean? Right. So next up we've got Neil Magny. Obviously Neil Magny, he's Justin Gaethje's training partner. Trains out with Trevor Whitman, and he's going to be fighting there. Now I don't really know much about the guy, Anthony Rocco Martin. I don't know, James, if you'll maybe be able to shed any light on his opponent and give us your thoughts.
His opponent's a good fighter, actually. He used to just go by the name Tony Martin, and then he's changed his name, so you will have seen him fight. He used to fight at lightweight, but that's how I know him. He might have fought Alan Patrick, or he'd fought a couple of guys that Stevie had fought anyway, but his old fight name was Tony Martin, and then he's reinvented himself as Anthony Tony or Rocco. I think Magny should be too big for him. I think he's a good fighter, that guy, but he's not an actual welterweight. I don't know if he's maybe fighting at welterweight just because of the quarantine situation and whatever. A lot of guys seem to want to fight a weight class up. But Neil Magny's he's a hard fight for anybody at that weight. So I'll probably pick Magny. Probably just to outpoint him on the feet just a wee bit too long, and he knows how to use his reach and stuff really well. So I'll go with Magny.
Right. And Danny, your thoughts?
I'm the same. I'm Magny. I think he's super intelligent when he fights. He's got a really high fight IQ, and he surprises me every time. Every time he fights, I'm the same. I think he'll win decision. I think he's one of those guys that everybody sort of overlooks, but he could cause anybody problems on his night. I like watching Magny.
Yeah, he's got that smothering style as well, and he's showcased it really well in quite a lot of fights. He's obviously training with Gaethje every day is going to help you as well.
Doesn't make a lot of noise. He just gets in there and gets the job done.
It can be quite refreshing to see that with some fighters. They're not out there shit talking social media. They just go in there and do their job, do their business, and Magny certainly does that. And Stevie, just give me your thoughts and your pick on that fight.
Me and myself, I think I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with Tony Martin, Tony Rocco, whatever you want to call him. I reckon, I just feel like he'll be too. I feel like it hits harder. I know he's probably the more naturally smaller guy.
Yeah.
Not really too sure why, but I'm going to go with the other guy.
Perfect. So we'll get to it one then. Right, so I'm going to jump up to what looks like it's going to be the co-main event in the card. I think this is going to be a really fun fight. So we've got Rafael Assunção against Cody Garbrandt. Danny, I'm going to come to you first in this one. I want you to give me your pick and then why you've picked him.
Assunção for me. Yep. You know what you get with him every time he turns up. He's looked brilliant in his last few performances, and I think he could be a contender for a title shot in a short period of time.
Perfect. Then Stevie, I'll jump over to you next. I've unmute. Go for it, Stevie.
What was the fight, sorry?
It was Assunção, Cody Garbrandt.
I do not have a clue who the first guy is. I know who Cody Garbrandt is. I'm just going to pick him, Cody Garbrandt. Obviously know that he used to have the title. I'll go with Cody, just purely because I do not know the other guy.
I'm sorry, mate. I've had to mute Stevie because of the feedback. You're laughing a minute. So Assunção's a bit of a veteran, Stevie, but James, who you got in that one? Assunção or Garbrandt?
I've got Assunção as well. I think he's underrated. He's a brilliant fighter. Excellent everywhere. He's just like proper workman. Like he doesn't stand out so much with some of the guys in that division are quite flashy and stuff. He's not like that. He's a just excellent fighter everywhere. He's been in with really good competition and stuff. I'd imagine I pick him to win. I think Cody, when you see him up against Dominic Cruz, he looks like the start of something special, like a rain of something special was coming, and he was absolutely phenomenal that night. But then since then, he's just looked like I think he's lost 3 fights in a row. I think he's a fighter. His whole game and everything he does is based on confidence, and I'm pretty sure that's gone now with the 3 losses. He gets done with it. It's pretty much the same punch he's been knocked out by 3 times in a row. So he's not even fixed the mistakes that were causing him losses. And I think coming back off the losses and stuff and try to get your confidence back, Assunção one of the worst fighters to get for it, because he'll not make mistakes. You need to create stuff with him, and I don't think he'll make any mistakes, and he'll probably get rid of. He'll beat Cody, I think, pretty convincingly.
Do you read much into the fact that obviously Cody was so loyal to Alpha Male, and that's not saying he's not loyal to him now, but he left Alpha Male and he went to Mark Henry. Do you think that says a lot about the fighter and where he was in his career, that he had to make such a big change?
I don't know. I think he probably knew it. When Ludwig left Alpha Male, the striking on that camp went to shit. Like he could almost take you can go and look at the results and draw a line without even working at the date when Ludwig left. You could draw a line and figure it out, and then they had a massive run with Ludwig there, and they're striking. Everybody there striking. And then if he had been smart, he could have maybe went with Ludwig the same way TJ did, but he was so adamant to stay and make such a big thing about that. But
yeah,
I don't know if Mark Henry will solve his problems. I think he's got a bit of an ego and a confidence issue. And sometimes changing camps like that's not going to fix problems like that. We'll soon see if he gets caught with the same shot that he get knocked out in his last couple fights, then maybe. But I think he's off he's a wee bit in that division. I think he'd struggle with Peter Yan. I think he'd struggle with Aljamain. I think he's going to struggle with Sunsao. It'll be interesting to see if Mark Henry's changed anything on him, but you know what you're getting with him. He's going to be come out and just look to box.
Do you think it's in a case, Danny? I'll even get you to jump in and answer this, and Stevie, I'll come to you in a minute. Obviously, we need to watch for the feedback, but do you think that could be a case in the divisions maybe just past Garbrandt a wee bit, Danny? What do you think there?
I think he's been away a long time. It's moved on. I don't know much about him changing camps. That's the first I've heard of it. But I think, like James is saying, the other guys are just too well rounded. He's going to come out and just try box, and guys like Sterling and Sunsao and Peter Yan have got all the tools in the bag to beat him. So yeah, I think the skill set, the whole division's moved on, and he's playing catch up. Yeah,
so on that, we'll jump on to the main event. Obviously, we've got, I don't think it's arguable. I think we've got the go-to women's MMA, Amanda Nunes, going in there against Felicia Spencer. So, Stevie, I'm just going to sort your mic out, and then we'll come to you. Just give me your fight prediction, and then we'll come to you. Just give me your prediction.
Aye, got to go with the pound for pound. Do you hear me all right? Aye. I'm going to go with Amanda Nunes. She just looks like an absolute beast in beating anybody. So, she's got pretty high level jiu-jitsu, but she's not even had to use it. She's knocking people out. She's got wild hands and good boxing, kind of heavy. So can't really see past her.
So Amanda then, yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. James, your thoughts on this matchup?
I've got Nunes as well. I think they're just feeding her somebody to get her out here. Really, no disrespect to Spencer, but he's beat everybody in in two divisions pretty much. And I think they're just wanting to keep her kind of hype train rolling pretty much. So it's just been, there's not really many other names they could give her, so they've just fished one out for her. I think she'll stop that girl probably in round 2 or 3, but I can't see anybody beating her just now. She's proper dominant.
It just doesn't seem like there's anybody there that could beat her all. Obviously, Danny will get your fight prediction on it, but do you see any way where Felicia Spencer could potentially win this fight?
They can always slip up, like it can happen, that, so you need to be aware of it. Like, she could maybe catch a guillotine, or I don't know. I can't see her knocking her out. I don't know if she can maybe hurt her enough to force Amanda to shoot and catch her in a guillotine or something like that, but the chances there are very, very slim. I think Amanda Nunes is starting to build up a bit of a reputation now where girls are going in to fight her and they're scared, and it's like before they even get in there, they're kind of beat. She's starting to get that presence about her, the way she's kind of dispatching these other girls, and she just looks head and shoulders above the rest, all the other females. Even more so, and like Ronda and that never really had it like that, where she was armbarring everybody quick, but she's just doing it so many different ways and hurting them with different knockouts, like with her hands, with her feet, with whatever else. But I can't see her losing. It'd be a massive upset. It would be up there with Matt Serra beating GSP the first time type of upset, and they don't come about too often, I don't think.
And
Danny, I'll get your fight prediction on this one. And just on top of what James is saying there, do you think Amanda Nunes has got that sort of Tyson-esque thing about her for female fighters, that she's such a scary prospect for them getting in there, that mentally they lose before they actually get in the cage?
I don't know. I can't speak for other fighters, but she's certainly looking really dominant. She looks like she hits so much harder than everybody else. The power difference in there is just so obvious. I think she's got that division wrapped up by now, and there's nobody there that's really going to give her any bother.
I mean, obviously she did early fight with Katzengano, where it was an issue with her gas tank more than anything else. But the only fighter that's really, really ran her close in recent times is Shevchenko. But that's 2 fights he had, wasn't it?
She's a different animal now as well. I remember seeing Amanda at Invicta when I was there. She was on one of the cards that we were at, and I seen her training all week in the workout room, and I can't remember what age she was, but she was young and she was quite low on the card. But the development she's went through from when I seen her fighting live in Kansas to what she's went on to do, beating Cyborg, obviously the big one, and Holly and Ronda and everything is incredible. I think if you put her with Shevchenko now, she beats her convincingly. Those other fights were just fights on her way up to develop, and she just looks like she's found her groove now. I think she's got a solid little team building about her now. She's probably not. Back then, she was probably just another fighter in these camps, whereas now she's like 2-weight champion. She'll be getting the champion treatment off of the American top team. Yeah, I think that's probably going to make a difference with these other girls.
Perfect. Well, that's us through all the fights. Obviously, we know this was like a short notice Fight Island fight or something. We had to put this show together pretty quickly because we get patched off someday. But thanks very much for coming on, lads. And just before we go off, I'll come to both of you separately, Danny, Stevie. Danny, any word, any thoughts on when you might be back in there? Anything at all? Any information?
Not a Scooby, mate. We had a video call thing with Dana, and apparently Fight Island's legit and it's coming. And then I've read other interviews and stuff, but there's not been a great deal of communication, in all honesty. So it's just waiting by the phone and see what happens.
Perfect. And Stevie, just let me get your mic off. Just let us know anything for you, or obviously we know who you're probably looking to get back in with, but when are you hoping to get back in there and fight?
I'm on my way down the now. I'm on my way to Doncaster the now. You hear me all right?
I hear you perfect.
Because I've pressed the wee button. I don't know if that helps. I'm on my way to Doncaster the now. I'm driving down. But I've just got... I found out where the Casey lives, so I'm just going to fucking go and do them the now.
See, that's perfect. By the way, I listened to the Dia Casey thing. How fun was that? Did you enjoy that?
You know what? I like when there's a bit of beef for someone in a fight. Sometimes it just makes it easier for me to go in and don't get me wrong. I've went in and beat some people up and still fought when you respect the other person and whatever, but it's always easier, and I feel like I fight better if I didn't like the guy as well. So it's only, I think, happened once, and that was Kurt Warburton when we had a bit of rivalry, and well, so much what happened to that, the first one. So I hope it happens. I'm waiting on some things. UFC have asked me to get orthopedic clearance just to make sure that pretty much so they know that my knee's good. So I'm in the middle of getting that, and then I'm hoping if Fight Island actually happening that to get me out, fly me out there.
Right.
It'll be a good experience if it happens.
And by the way, if it's not worth anything, just to let you know, I think you get shafted on that quiz, mate. You definitely won the quiz. You were first in. I listened to it back as well. I'm sure that was me that did it. It was 100% you. It was listen. I quite enjoyed listening to it. I thought it was quite funny. I thought it was a good bit of back and forth. So I really hope the UFC make that fight. Obviously, we'll not have you on when Danny and James do the fight predictions for that.
Is it still team thingy?
No, you're fine now. You've sorted the issues, mate.
Oh, is it?
Aye.
Fuck, I should have pressed that button ages ago then.
I wasn't want to tell you to try and fix it in your phone while you were driving, mate. Cause we don't need to.
There was a wee button on the screen of my car that said handset, so I pressed that, and I could still hear you through the car for some reason. But
we're good now anyway. So we'll wrap up on that. So obviously, as always, thanks everybody for tuning into the show. We appreciate the time. And if you could pop into the Higher Level YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, we appreciate that. And obviously, go onto all the social media platforms and follow the gym and the show as well. So thank you very much for tuning in.